The Titans will not be the worst team in their division this year, says Zane. And that's what he's predicting today. The Titans 2024 NFL record. We're going to find out how good Will Levis actually is. So leave your comment down below if you agree, if you disagree. What do you think their record is going to be? Let us know. While you're down there, like the video if you like it. Subscribe if you haven't. We're on our way to the first 1,000 subscribers for Buffet Sports, and we're more than halfway there. So we want you guys to be a part of it. So I'm Devin, the other guy's Zane, and this is Buffet Sports. It's all you can eat. Let's get into the video.
Yeah, okay, good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in. Dropping heat like every season. Underdog like Willie beaming. Classic like Dom singing. Blasting like bombs ringing.
Alrighty, I am doing the Titans. What's funny is yesterday I had them with a terrible record. Let me accept cookies so I can get hacked really quick.
You do love your cookies.
I do love my cookies, but I saw a couple of things. There's some rumblings going on that the Titans are going to be sneaky good this year with the Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, and everything that they've done. I don't know
Tyler
too
Boyd,
much. Yeah,
Tony Pollard. They added L'Jarius Sneed.
Yeah, they've picked up a lot of men, so it's going to be a little bit different. Okay, week 1 versus the Chicago Bears. This is going to be a win, because this is going to be a stellar performance. They're going to show what they've done in the offseason. They're going to pick up a win against the rookie and show them that, like, hey, Will Levis is here to stay because he's the greatest quarterback ever. Week 2 versus the Jets. Obviously, they get destroyed by the Jets. No matter if the Jets win or lose week 1, they're either going to bounce back or they're going to continue their streak, and they're going to destroy the Titans. And then we go to week 3 against the Green Bay Packers. This is the same scenario. It doesn't matter if the Packers could be 0-2 at this point, and they will probably beat the Titans. They're just that good. Week 4 versus Miami. I don't expect anyone to be hurt on the Dolphins yet. If this was like a week 7, then I could kind of like just maneuver my way in to give them a win here, but they lose. And then week 5 is a bye. They lose, of course. And then week 6, questions here about Anthony Richardson. I've said it before. When you look at a guy who, with a team that looks great with their backup, you assume that with their starter, they're also going to be great. But there have been very precise small moments in time to where you look at the Eagles, who won the Super Bowl with Nick Foles, and you're like, they are going to be absolutely insane when Carson Wentz gets back on the horse and he starts running with this team because he's the starter. And then what happened? Carson Wentz didn't work out. They had to look for a new QB. Could this potentially be the same thing? It's sort of similar scenarios with Anthony Richardson coming back to this team. They're expected to be great, but I am maneuvering my way to get a Titans win here week 6 against the Colts.
2-3 heading into week 7.
Week 7, Buffalo Bills. They lose. We're going to rapid fire these next 2 weeks. Week 8 for the Detroit Lions. They lose. Week 9 versus the Patriots. You have
Good game.
a man who puts mayonnaise in his coffee, and you have, I guess, Drake may or may not be started. Who knows?
We don't know.
This team, it's a QB battle. They're not going to be a consistent team. We don't know how they're going to do. I'm going to give this a win for the Titans just based off of how much, like, they do have pretty good weapons. We just don't know how they're going to be. And then week 10, it's the same scenario. Week 10. Oh, I should have done a Mayo reference to the mayonnaise in the coffee. God, that's where I was trying to go. My brain just didn't connect it. Week 10 with the Chargers. Chargers are going to be awful this year. So Titans are going to beat the Chargers. Week 11 versus the Minnesota Vikings. Sam Darnold is the starter. J.J. McCarthy's not there. Justin Jefferson's still there. They still have a great offense, great defense. I am actually going to say that this is a loss for the Titans. I see week 11 Vikes. They figured everything out. They know what they're trying to be, and they're going to beat the Titans here. And then week 12 versus one of the greatest rookies we've ever seen grace the field in the NFL. We just can't. We can't hold a candle to CJ Stroud right now. Maybe more sponsorships. Especially with Stephon. It's going to be tough. We're going to lose to the Texans. Week 13, this is a defense. This comes down to the defense here. Can the Titans defense stop Scary Terry? Can Sneed stop? I kind of think they could as well.
I think they could. I
So
think so.
this is a coin flip, but I'm going to give it to my boys. This is a win for the Commanders. Week 14.
Mayo.
I absolutely despise the Jaguars because Devin loves them. So Jaguars lose
Okay.
to the Titans. Week
I can
15.
see that. That's an in-division game. I can
Yeah.
totally see that, though.
Okay, so week 15, playing the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow is healthy. He is not going to get re-injured. And they are pushing for the playoffs. They're pushing to meet Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs and knock them out, killing that three-peat hopes. So they're going to be on top of things. There's going to be no rest days for them because they are on a mission. So this is going to be a dominant game from Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. They're going to kill us. And then week 16, as we've said, here's the problem with what I said at the beginning of this is that the Colts do look great with a backup. Maybe it's just Gardner Minshew. I just heard that he just currently won the spot in Vegas. So congrats to him. But
Hell yeah.
it could also just be the coaching, and it could also just be that the team, no matter the QB, is just that damn good. So there is a possibility that if what I said comes true and Anthony Richardson does look terrible, there's a chance by week 16 they throw in another backup, and just because the team and the coaching is so damn good that they look like they did last year.
And who is that backup?
Joe flippin' Flacco.
Let's go.
There is a possibility, if what I said at the beginning of this comes true, that Joe Flacco is rerunning the Brown season, and we know, he looks flippin' fantastic. And this is the perfect team for this sort of scenario with Joe Flacco, with the coaching and the guys that
I'll
they
be
have.
so hyped, bro, because he'll actually have a running game to lean on. Oh my god!
So,
and if he gets to make the playoff, if they make the playoffs in the AFC behind Joe,
I think we'll put out a video like being like, this is why I think Joe Flacco needs to be he needs to be talking about like one of the greatest of all time. If he makes the playoffs.
Honestly.
Yeah, that 2 years in a row, two different teams coming in at the end of the season. That would
just
be insane.
slinging the rock.
Just slinging the rock. So this is, I'm predicting, going to be a loss. No matter who the QB is, I think the Colts, they're very adaptable and they're very great at playing good football, no matter the odds, no matter what's going on inside the locker room. So I think they will have figured it out by now. Could be that Joe Flacco is the starting QB, but they're gonna beat the Titans here. All right, and then in week 17, still obviously highest paid quarterback in the league on that team. It was a very competitive game last season, and all that. What have the Jags done? Do you know? I think they've gotten rid of Calvin Ridley, and that's it. What have they gotten?
That's pretty much it. I don't think they've added anything off the top of my head. I can't think of any names they've added off the top.
Yeah, so they got rid of Calvin Ridley. They gave Calvin Ridley to the Titans. Now the Titans are meeting the Jags in week 17.
Revenge game.
They already previously beat them, and now it's end. It's the end of the season. I don't think the Jags are going to be that good this year.
And it's in season, it's in division, excuse me. So this game really matters late year, where I'm sure that the Jags are going to be battling with the Colts for who's going to win the division and get the playoff spot. So
yeah, I'm going to do it again. Titans go 2-0 versus the Jags. I'm sorry, Jags fans out there.
Look, that's their Super Bowl though, for real. That game, it probably, if it comes down to it, I'm not surprised if that's their Super Bowl, because I don't think, with how competitive the AFC is, we're only getting one playoff team out of that division, and that's who wins the division. So if they want to make the playoffs, they got to win the division, and the Titans have the opportunity to bounce them most likely in week 17. That's their Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I think they can get it done. I think they're going to be sneaky good. They've moved a lot.
By week 17, Trevor's going to be so unlocked.
Yeah, he's going to be. I think it was late season when we got that beautiful, beautiful video of Trevor Lawrence getting hurt and then slamming his fist on the ground and looking like a little child. We did get that.
We got that absolute insane game. Remember that we watched with Beathard?
Oh, yes, dude.
Dude, that game was nuts. I got to look back. I want to rewatch that game. That game was crazy.
Yeah. And the reason why we're dragging this out so long is because week 18 is versus the Texans. And the Texans are for sure looking to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I think they are going to be in the playoffs. And unless they are somehow the first seed and they are just trying to rest CJ and Stephon Diggs so they don't play in week 18, that's the only way I could see the Titans coming out of this on top. But I don't think that'll be the case. I don't think they're going to be the first seed in their division. I mean, they could be, very well could be, but they
Let me
lose.
look at some.
Titans lose to the Texans, obviously. CJ Stroud, the man, the myth, the legend, already becoming a legend after just 1 year.
Oh, I forgot. They've got, wait, scroll up for a second. Damn, they've got 3 division games down the stretch. No, you can go back down. Just the last 3 is what I need to see. Colts, Jags. Yeah, they've got 3 division games to end the year. That's going to be that's a gauntlet just because it's division games.
Bro,
and it might be closer than we think because
they actually have a really hard schedule, dude.
Colts are I don't know. Yeah, it's going to be tough. Jags, Colts, Texans is going to be a dogfight.
That's what I'm saying.
Titans,
is that
whoever the Titans beat in that 3-game stretch, if they beat any of them, they're going to spoil playoff hopes.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is that, like, I don't think the Texans are going to sit CJ or Stephon because the Colts are also here. So I think it's going to be competitive versus them. Maybe the Jags might be competitive, but I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be a clear guy like it was with San Francisco, where Brock Purdy doesn't have to play, I think, the last 2 weeks, or at least the last week.
Texans will probably be I don't know. Maybe there will be 2 teams out of this division in the playoffs. I got to look at the AFC as a whole. Maybe we'll do that next week since it's the last week before I come up to make our predictions.
Yeah, but this is a hard schedule. I mean, 3 division games, and then you have the Bengals. You have Houston again, and then this is your
Lions.
easy one. You have Minnesota, Chargers, Patriots, and then you get the Lions, the Bills, the Colts again, and the Dolphins, and then the Packers, the Jets, and then the Bears week 1. Like, this is a tough schedule.
That's a tough schedule.
They
made some improvements, but
it's a new coach there too.
This is the other thing too that I feel bad for them is that they're going to have to. Titans fans, don't call for Will Levis's head this year. It's they added pieces, yes, but this is a tough schedule. And he's going to falter. He's going to have some games where you're like, dear Jesus, if he throws another pick, I'm going to lose my mind. But you got to just lock and load and be hyped when he goes and trucks a 250-pound linebacker. Yeah, those are your Super Bowl moments right there. Don't call for his head. Don't call for his head. Don't call for the coach's head this year. This is a tough schedule. Yes, they added pieces, but it will probably look up. And this division is going to be really tough, man. Like, AFC South over the next 5 years might end up looking a lot like that Bengals division, the Bengals-Ravens division. Because they've got it's quarterbacks across the board. It's good teams potentially in the next 5 years across the board. This is going to be a really competitive and interesting division. The records may not reflect it every year, but it's going to be but in division, it's just going to be competitive for who wins it.
Yeah, I think as long as Will Levis stays being Will Levis, because he did that last year. He was throwing picks. Like, you never know if he's a good quarterback or not. You couldn't tell. But, like, we all loved him because he threw a pick and then he went and he got it back. He threw a pick and then he put his face and a 300-pound defensive lineman on the goal line.
In the end zone.
In the end zone. He didn't have to.
It wasn't even on the goal line. It was even on the goal line. I saw it today. I was watching it. I was like, dude was already in the end zone, and Will just like.
Yeah, he didn't have to do that, but he did do it. And I think if he continues to play like that, he might definitely get hurt. Right, that if he does continue to play like that, but at the same time, the fans will continue to love him, as I have grown to love watching him play the position of quarterback for that team.
It looks 7-10 is nothing to be ashamed of. That's a good record,
especially this schedule, dude.
For the schedule they've got and the division they're in, and trying to be somewhat competitive. Yeah, that's nothing to be ashamed of.
If Will looks more consistent this year, I would say that's a ginormous improvement, because this is the guy who threw 3 TDs to DeAndre Hopkins, and then I mean, the next game DeAndre like barely even got the ball. Like, he's just not a consistent quarterback, but he plays really hard. So if he's a consistent guy,
rookie year. This is rookie year. This is year 2. We'll see.
Yeah, if he stops making stupid mistakes to where he does have to put his body on the line to keep his position at quarterback, then he will. I count that as a win, and I think
I
most
want to
Titans
see
fan
them
will count
run
that as
him
a
this
win.
year. He's fucking yacked, dog.
He
I want
is
to see.
dude.
I want to see. I want to see him in RPOs. He's got a cannon. Yeah, I want to
It's
see
also
him.
yeah, it's also just like how much do you believe in Will? Because if you don't believe that he's your Super Bowl winning quarterback, flipping, I mean, use him to his full advantages. Try and get a lot of wins here. Do some RPOs. Get like use his physicality to your advantage. And if he gets hurt, you as an organization already think he's not going to be the guy that gets you a Super Bowl. So just like, I mean, let him
And
loose. Let him loose.
if you do end up losing this year, I mean, unfortunately, sometimes you just gotta like throw in the towel. There's a couple good quarterbacks coming out this year, and if you've got a bad enough, if it doesn't end up being 7-10, and you've got a bad enough record, then you'll have a quarterback battle, and you'll really see what Will's made of then in year 3. So there you go, 7-10 Titans.
I think they're going to be very surprising this year.
Yeah,
Will
I
they
think they're going to
win?
be in a
Will
ton of
they win
games,
games? Maybe not, but I
but they're going to
think
be
they
in
are going to
games.
look great.
Yeah, I think they're going to be in a lot of games, it's going to be close. They're going to be in a lot of games, but just end up not pulling it out.
Yeah, I predict they'll be third in the division with a hard fought games. Obviously,
So
I
Jags are going
troll.
to be bottom.
Yeah, obviously I troll, but like those Jag games are going to be very hard fought. But it was a competitive game last year. The Jags haven't gotten any better. I can see some hard fought games to where they end up third in their division.
I can
The
see
only
it.
it's all on Will Levis and how he does though.
Yeah. You heard the man. They're going to be third in the division. He thinks, I guess, Texans are going to win the division. Colts are going to be in the division. They're going to be in a lot of games, but ultimately end up losing them. I kind of get the same sense of what the year is going to look like, but it doesn't matter what we think. Tell us what you think. Leave your comment down below what you think their record is going to be. And while you're down there, like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't. We're on our way to the first 1,000 subscribers, and we want you to be a part of it. So I'm Devin. The other guy's Zane, and this is Buffet Sports. That's all you can eat. Ciao, guys.